Hi, and welcome. Today I'll be talking about the most underrated movie and franchise that I grew up with. Okay? Now, um, okay? Um, now, let's be clear. Um, there gonna be some other franchise that I grew up with. I haven't watched in like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or whatever the case may be. So I'm probably still a fan of the franchise, and I grew up with them. But since I haven't seen them in a long time, or maybe a while, I probably couldn't tell you the top of my head what's the most underrated movie. Okay, the movie that people badmouth or get criticized, and I'm like, every time I watch those movies that people criticize and the franchise that I grew up with, I'm like, I think it's good. Okay, and so but these are the franchise that I think like a million times, something like that, and I know right off the top of my head, the movie and the franchise that I think is underrated. Okay, um, and then maybe later down the road I'll do like the what movie in the franchise that I grew up with, or the what movie in the franchise that I think, okay, or the best movie in the franchise that I think, or stuff like that. Okay, so there'll probably be some other videos that I will do. Okay, so kicking it off is is Herbie the Love Bug. Okay, and the most underrated Herbie movie is this one with Bruce Campbell. Okay, and I met Bruce Campbell at Comic Con, and okay, and and I don't get the hate for that. Okay, and also if 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 I had to do like the top 100 underrated movies of all time, it should be up there. Good, because this is not on Disney Plus and this is not on DVD. Okay, um, okay, and when I met him, I was so excited to meet Bruce Campbell. Like, I don't know, a couple weeks before I met him or going to meet him at Comic Con, I wanted to show him this. So, so I don't remember what his question was or what he said, but I ordered it and I went up there and showed him this. Okay, I was so excited. But then I found a website that had it on DVD. But 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 it officially never came on DVD or anything. Okay, that's why it don't have the poster or anything. Okay, uh, a lot of fans um like put it either in the middle or put it toward the bottom. I'm like, have you seen Herbie Go Banana? That's the worst one, and I'm surprised and shocked that they never tried to reboot or remake Herbie. They did it with Fully Loaded, but I never. When I was little, that was like 20 years ago. Uh, when I thought it was okay. So um, okay. And this one when Walt Disney was good, not woke crap they're doing nowadays. Remaking movies, buying up all the movie studio and butchering them. Okay. Uh, Halloween 2. Okay. A lot of people say this is a bad Halloween sequel. I'm like, have you seen Halloween Resurrection? Halloween is one of my favorite horror franchise. That and Tremors. That'll be the next one I'll get to. I never think Halloween 2 is bad. every time I watch um, Halloween, I watch Halloween and then Halloween 2 back to back. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I grew up with Halloween, Halloween 2 in my childhood, and another underrated Halloween movie. Since we're on the topic of Halloween, I don't know if I have it in front of me. Um, was what is it? The 2018 one. Okay, and I was so excited that they bring back Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode, and I'm like, you know what? That was a fine comeback, a remake, a reboot, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, you know what? That's another good Halloween. That and H2O. Okay. But the next two after this, I'm like, what? Oh my goodness. Don't get me started, okay? They could have had a good trilogy. This is one of those trilogies where they had a good movie at the beginning and then the next two, downfall. Okay? Um, Another one is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. I think I saw it like 3 times in theater when it came out. Me, my dad, and my 2 brothers, we tried to see it on opening night. This was back when you could see a movie midnight. And I wish I could go back to those times. That made me more excited for movies. Okay? Yeah. And the last like 5 or 10 years, I've been hearing people badmouth this movie. Probably around the time Force Awakens came out, and man, I hated that movie. And and what happened was everybody liked it. It's the best Star Wars movie that Empire Strikes Back, and I was like the only one liking that movie. Hating that movie. And then around that time, I was seeing videos of them talking about this movie and badmouthing it, and they were badmouthing for every little detail. They said, oh, Anakin and Obi-Wan lightsaber duel is bad. Anakin turned to the dark side was horrible. Anakin wearing his Darth Vader uniform at the end was horrible. He was yelling like Frankenstein. I'm like, you criticize for every little detail. I'm like, I would have watched it 100 times than the 3 new Star Wars movies. They were power garbage. This is awesome. This is one of the movies where I could turn on and I can watch it from beginning to end, be entertained. Okay? And it don't butcher the Star Wars canon, the lore. Okay? I think the people that made the 3 new Star Wars movies, I think they were high or something on drugs. They didn't know what they were doing. Speaking of Star Wars, another one is Return of the Jedi. Okay? And I read that before the movie came to theater, it was about to be called Revenge of the Jedi. And then you'll look at that, Jedi don't get revenge, so they changed it to Return of the Jedi. Okay? The lightsaber duel between Luke and Vader and Return of the Jedi is one of my favorite themes in Star Wars. Okay? I think one of the criticisms for the movie is the Ewok, the teddy bears. But they didn't bother me. Okay? I had fun with this movie from beginning to end. I think New Hope is A+. I think Empire Strikes Back is A+. I think Return of the Jedi is an A+ movie. And I think Revenge of the Sith is either A or A+ movie. And I never get the hate for this movie, okay? It's an awesome, okay? And I love seeing the Emperor shocking Luke, okay? I rather watch this again than any Disney Plus shows, Star Wars like Mandalorian, uh, okay, and upcoming Star Wars movies, okay. Now George look at that and he don't care about Star Wars no more. Cause who does? Cause everybody was excited for Force Awakens, and when after it came out, most people would say were good, but they were wrong until they saw the next two. And I was the only one scratching my head and saying, "You're terrible. This is good and underrated." Okay. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I never understand why people badmouth this movie. Say it's wicked. To me, Raiders of the Lost Ark, an A+ movie. Temple of Doom, an A+ movie, and The Last Crusade, an A+ movie. Okay. The next two, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and what's the other one? Dial of Destiny. I don't hate them as much as a lot of people do. I think there's some good stuff in those movies, and I'll probably rather watch those two movies over Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. Okay. There's some stuff in the two new Indiana Jones movies that if they changed it around, then it could have been better. Okay? But Temple of Doom, when I was little, to be honest, I couldn't decide which one was my favorite. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or Temple of Doom. Okay? Galimon. Okay? And I read that they created a PG-13 rating because of Temple of Doom violence. Okay? The criticism for this movie is because the girl was running around with Andy. Okay? They thought she was goofy and stuff. Okay? Well, if you don't like goofy and you don't like silliness, then I'm here to tell you don't watch Marvel, the MCU. And I'm predicting, even though I want a strong seriousness, Avenger Doomsday, and Secret War movie like Winter Soldier. To me, that's one of the best comic book movies of all time. Definitely in the top 10. They'll probably put a lot of humor in it. Okay? 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 So this is a movie where, back in the day, I did my marathon of Bruce Willis, and I remember seeing a preview for it. I watched them all. And I didn't have the new one. Was it Die Hard 5? So I watched it, and I'm like, people badmouth this one because PG-13. I'm like, that was a really good PG-13 movie. And then I watched the next one, and the next one went back to be rated R, and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you can make a good PG-13 movie in a rated R franchise. They're like Predator Badlands. Okay? And okay, it's been a while since I watched it. Okay? Okay? So it's been a while since I watched it, so this might either be the second or third best Die Hard movie. Don't let people tell you this is a bad Die Hard movie because it's PG-13. Okay? I'm here to tell you It's underrated. Okay. Um, the Mummy Returns. Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, yeah, we all know the news about they're coming back for the Mummy 4. I don't know what it's gonna be called, but I grew up with the Mummy trilogy in my childhood, and I don't think I ever watched the Scorpion King. I might have seen clips of it. Okay, so um, I'm here to tell you, uh, the Mummy Return was good. Okay, I was a little disappointed with the third one because it didn't have the same girl in it. Hemotep wasn't in it. The other guy was in it. Okay, and some of the critics did them for. I think the big criticism for The Mummy Return was Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, at the Scorpion King, and they said like, oh, that's one of the worst CGI in the movie ever. But I like it when Brendan Fraser, in the movie, he goes, God, I hate you, mummy. So, yeah, okay. I'm just going down the list, okay. Um, Now, there's been like a few times I watched the Friday the 13th movie, but I have to be in the mood, like to watch this franchise, and do a marathon. And the last few times I watched the Friday the 13th over the years, I'm like, you know what? Jason Voorhees is an iconic slasher icon like Freddy Krueger or Leatherface or Michael Myers. But I'm like, you know what? They could make his movie better. Most of his movie is just about to go around killing people that just teenagers that haven't sex, and most of his movies are terrible. So that is a good example of you can have a bad movie and they'll keep making more. In my opinion, they should only make more sequels if the movie is good. Okay, but to me, this is like the best one. Okay, I know some people say, I know there's some diehard horror fans said that this is not a good movie, the first one. I'm like, yeah, but it got Kevin Bacon in it. Okay, um, X-Men 3, The Last Stand, or you can call it The Last Stand. Um, okay, there for a while, I was agreeing with people, fan or critic, and they think this is a bad movie. I'm like, I would have watched X-Men: The Last Stand over Black Panther 2, or rather watch Dead over She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, um, Thor: Love and Thunder. The list can go on and on. Okay, and this is actually not a bad movie. This is underrated. Okay, I wish that uh, some of the stuff they did in this movie, they were set it up in the first movie, like the rivalry between Pyro and Iceman. They fought at the end, but it would have been better if they would set it up uh, in the first two X-Men movies. Because if they did and they were teaching it that they were going to fight in the third one, then I think more people would probably like this movie and be more excited. Okay? I think the criticism for this movie is like what? It got like too many plot points, and they didn't like the way how they did Phantom Dancing, Dark Phoenix. But be honest, I would like to see her come back as Dark Phoenix in either Doomsday or Secret Wars. That would be awesome. Okay. Um, Shang-Chi. Okay. 51 the better MCU movie after Endgame. So if I was gonna watch uh, some of the MCU movie after Endgame, I would watch this one. Okay, that's why I have it. Okay, I think they criticize like some of the CGI at toward the end. I'm like, no, this is entertaining. Okay, it got a little too goofy with the girl singing. Okay, but this is one of the better ones. Okay, another one is the Incredible Hulk. Okay, um, okay. To me, this is like the best Hulk movie. I didn't go back and watch the 2003 Hulk, but the MCU never made a good Hulk movie. Well, actually, they never made another Hulk movie. They just butchered the Hulk character after the 2008. I would say uh, the only time that Hulk was good, or Bruce Banner was good in the MCU after the Incredible Hulk movie was he was good, and probably his best performance was the first Avenger movie, because he was smashing, and he was like smashing Loki. I wanted him to do that to Thanos. He only did it one time. He was okay in Thor Ragnarok, and then he was okay in Age of Ultron. So that like his three best performance after the Incredible Hulk. But but other than that, they just butcher him totally bad. Okay, yeah. So this is underrated, and I don't know why people always put this like on the bottom of the ranking when they rank the MCU. I would put this like in my top 10. Okay, and I want to know why Edward Norton didn't come back. But but in my opinion, if he did come back, they'll probably just butcher him playing the Hulk. Okay. Um. Now, what's some other one? Um. Tremors 2. I never got to get the hate that people badmouth this movie. I would say this is like the second best movie. I like the beginning when the guy running and he falls and Tremor come up from the ground and eats him. I'm like, good. Okay. I like that Fred Ward came back, Michael Gross. Okay. I would love it if they made a Tremor 8 and had all of them come back. Fred Ward, Michael Gross, and Kevin Bacon. And maybe even put it in theater. I would definitely go see it and probably be like one of my future paying movies. Um, yeah, I think the criticism with this movie is that it was in a different place and not a profession. Okay, but a good sequel and very underrated. Okay, another one is Your Darkness. This what got me to become a Bruce Campbell fan. This and he cameoed in the Spider-Man movie, and I never got the hate for this. Okay, if I was gonna watch a Evil Dead movie, I would watch this one. Okay, and this is my favorite. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. Okay, was you raised in a barn? Shut the door. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I love this movie. I think the criticism with this movie is like horror slash comedy. Okay. Uh, okay. I would be more excited for another Evil Dead movie if Bruce Campbell came back and played Ash William again. But I think he said that either he retired. I think one time I read that he retired the character, and then another time I read that he would only come back if Sam Raimi directed the movie. Okay? Now, okay? Another one is Matrix. Now, now I don't have the other one on DVD on VHS tape, so the reason I'm telling you this is the underrated Matrix movie that I want to say is underrated is the second one, Matrix Reloaded. Okay, the second one. Okay, when I was little, that was another franchise I was a big fan of. I used to run around saying I'm Wolverine. I'm in the Matrix. I don't know why I said that. I'm Wolverine. I'm in the Matrix. And when they came out with, when they announced Matrix 4, I was super excited. But then what happened? I was let down. And that was almost as bad, or maybe even worse, than the last three Star Wars movies. Oh my goodness, okay? And so hopefully, they said they're going to do another Matrix movie, Matrix 5. I hope they bring back the original characters. You know, Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, and do it right. Okay? Because if they can't do it right, then they should never done the Matrix 4 and 5. Okay? But the second Matrix, I never got to hate. People held this one up like a masterpiece. It's still a good movie where Neo dodged the bullet. One of the greatest sci-fi scenes of all time. But when I was a little kid, I just love the freeway scene with Trinity riding the motorcycle. I love Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus, fighting with the samurai sword on the 18-wheeler truck. I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. And I consider that one my favorite. But it's been a while since I watched it. Okay? So, I probably won't watch the Matrix again. All four of them again until they come out with Matrix 5. If they do. Okay? I got 4 James Bond movies that I think are very underrated. I'm a big James Bond fan. And James Bond is my favorite movie franchise of all time. Live and Let Die. Okay? I think the biggest criticism with this movie was J.D. Pepper. Okay? But to me, this is like the most iconic James Bond theme song, like Paul McCartney and stuff. It got plenty of action in it that keep me entertained from beginning to end. Okay, yeah. I can see that the J.D. Pepper is stealing, but if you want to criticize and say that's why the movie's bad, then you gotta do that to the Marvel movie, okay? And like where the Infinity War, Hulk was running in the Hulkbuster and falling down and doing stuff like that, and they still gave it a really high score. To me, that like the only negative of the movie. But I love the boat chase. I just love it. It's entertaining from beginning to end. Another one is underrated is Thunderball. and a lot of people uh, consider it the bad. They say that all the stuff underwater is what you call boring. I'm here to tell you, uh, if I had to map out, do a video telling people all the best Jane Bond movies, this would be up there. Okay, I like this one better than From Much of Love. I always thought From Much of Love was a boring movie every time I watched it. I didn't go back and watch it again. I don't hate From Much of Love. I thought it was always kind of boring. Okay. Um, I think the standout with this movie is the redhead girl. Okay, she won the best henchwoman. Jane Bond movie have women that are bad girls, villains, and they're like on top. Okay, and so okay, and uh, yeah, so okay, and the redhead girl, I think she overshadowed number two, the guy with the eye patch. They're like on the top, overshadowed uh, 006. I think that's the name. Yeah, and Goldeneye. Okay, I didn't care about Sean Bean and Goldeneye. I care more about on the top. I'd rather have on the top as the main villain in Goldeneye. Okay. Another one is underrated. Is On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and uh, now now when I was a little kid, the first time I watched it, I thought it was stupid. It took me a while before I watched the whole movie, maybe even many years. Okay, 'cause I grew up watching James Bond. James Bond movie that I got into when I was a little kid was Sean Connery, Roger Moore, and Pierce Brosnan. Okay, and it took me a while before, many years before I watched George Lazenby and Timothy Dalton. Okay, but as I got older, I realized George Lazenby should make more James Bond movies. Timothy Dalton should make more James Bond movies. Okay, um, and it was sad that I read, and this is one of the dumbest decisions I ever heard in movie history, that they offered him, George Lazenby, a 7-movie contract, and he turned it down because his movie agency said James Bond is outdated. I'm like, what? Look, in that couple of years, whenever James Bond, they announce the actor or the movie, it'll probably be like the most anticipated movie. Okay? To me, this is one of the best James Bond movies, and it had one of the best endings, in my opinion. Either one of the best, or if not, the best ending of any James Bond movie, where he get married, and then Blofeld come by, and the woman in the car with them shoot at the car, and his wife died. Okay? Be quiet, alright, really? She's just having a rest. Okay? So, so I would like to think what George Lazenby would have done. Okay? They picked it up in like the first like 10 15 minutes and Diamond Off Forever, and then it goes downhill. Okay? Uh, I would like to think George Lazenby come back for another one, and done like a revenge, and kind of go out for George Lazenby and get revenge on George Lazenby. I mean, on Blofeld for killing his wife. Okay. Okay. Another one that very underrated is Liking to Kill. And, okay? And, the few times over the years that I've watched this movie, I'm like, whoa, this is like the most violent PG-13 I've seen in my entire life. This is one of the rated R movie, James Bond movie that can be rated R. And I think the reason why they didn't like it because it was a different tone and it was violent, so violent. Okay, but I like James Bond movie being serious. I don't mind having a few jokes here and there, but this is awesome because this reminds me of the seriousness of the Winter Soldier, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Okay, um, uh, Timothy Dalton was supposed, he had a contract for 3 movies, and his third movie was going to be called Property of a Lady, and Liking to Kill book, uh, I think it was called Liking to Renew, or something like that, okay? And, so, and, I think MGM was in some kind of like lawsuit or something, and after the lawsuit was over, he said, he didn't want to do it no more. So then that's when they got Pierre Blanca and the Albert Blocker in there. They wanted Pierre Blanca so bad. I think I saw a video one time where he was on the Tonight Show, and Pierre Blanca said that he wanted the producers wanted him so bad that they wanted him to be in The Living Daylight, but he couldn't get out of his Remington Steele contract. Okay? So, yeah. So, yeah. So, another good James Bond movie for me. Another underrated movie. I don't get the hate. I think this is better than like all the Pierre Blanca James Bond movies. Better than probably like all the Daniel Craig movies. I know people will say, "Oh no," because I know people hail GoldenEye and McAfee. They hail Casino Royale and McAfee or Skyfall. I'm like, hey, look at this. Hey, I like those movies, Casino Royale, Skyfall, and GoldenEye, but this is awesome. James Bond burning the bad guy on fire. Wow. And then a guy's head gets exploded, and this movie not rated R. Wow. Wow. Okay. Mm. Yeah. And when I was a little kid, it took me many years down the road before I started liking Joel Lazenby at James Bond, his movie Automatic Secret Service. That's one of my favorite James Bond movies. And started liking The Living Daylight and Liking to Kill. Okay. So yeah. So that's it. Let me know what's some franchise that you grew up with and their underrated movie. Thank you. Until next time.